All right, welcome everyone to the March office hours for 2020. And there's a lot of uncertainty out there. And so I'm not surprised there are a lot of people joining us. And my intention is for this to be an opportunity to hear what's going on in other parts of the world and the country. I'll give you my take on what's happening. I want to start by saying we are the lucky ones. If you are on this call, you are one of the lucky ones. And I think we all need to be just really grateful for what we have. I have no idea what's going to happen. Nobody knows. Nobody ever knows. We think we know, but we don't. And right now, nobody knows. And I'm talking about, health-wise as well as economics and everything else. There's just a lot changing. And I think we need to be really flexible and creative and not isolate. And one of the things I've been noticing today and the last couple of days talking to people is how easy it is to get locked into your own point of view. I've got my own point of view. Things are happening. I am consuming certain media. And it's really easy to think this is the way the world is. And then I talk to people and I say, oh no, it's not that way for this person. Oh no, it's not that way for this other person. So I think it's really important. It has been important for me today and this week to just know that my point of view is not everybody's point of view. I can tell you that outside my window, people are wearing green and celebrating St. Patrick's Day. The celebration has begun. And other people are totally panicked because of what's going on in the world. So those are two very different sides of the spectrum. And that's the reality. I am advising people to keep the lines of communication open with as many people as possible, whether it's in the Slack channel for my network, or with your clients or on LinkedIn. We're going to talk a lot about LinkedIn today. But when, part of what the news says is isolate, we got to be sure not to isolate ourselves emotionally, communication-wise, maybe just physically. I would also say it's probably a good idea to keep the news consumption to a minimum and find trusted resources. I have a trusted resource that I'm happy to share. And this whatever happens is going to be really good for some people and really bad for other people. And hopefully we'll be some of the lucky ones. But there are people on this call today who I know are going to have a bonanza with whatever happens, and other people who are hit really hard already and don't know what's going to happen. So that's why I think it's really important to be flexible and creative. So the way I've structured this is I'm going to talk just a little bit more about mindset, because I think it's really important to stay positive and stay focused on what we're doing. So I have a couple more suggestions for mindset. Then I want to talk very practically about the marketing tools, the 3 marketing tools that go with the planner, and how you adapt them and adjust them for, what we're calling kind of euphemistically uncertain times, but they are uncertain times. And then I'm going to hand the floor over to Melanie, the marketer, Melanie Deerdorf, who is going to build on some of the things that I've said, especially with a focus on LinkedIn and using LinkedIn. And then I will open the floor for comments and questions. That is my agenda. So in terms of mindset, I said already be grateful. I've said be flexible, and I'm going to repeat being flexible because especially in times of uncertainty, flexibility is one of the most important things. You have to be ready for anything, ready to drop anything and pick up another thing. But I think the most important quality right now is to be helpful. It's a focus outward. It's your network, your orbit, your clients, your world. How can you be helpful? To whom can you be helpful? And you can market into that helpfulness, but I want the watchword to be helpful, because I know a lot of people are holding off, holding back on some of your marketing already, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. I think we do have to strike the right tone with our marketing, but we're not going to stop marketing. And especially if, and this is what I'm telling a lot of people lately, if you are in the communication industry, and if anything you do has to do with communication, people need you. They need to communicate. They need help communicating. They need graphics for communicating. I was talking to someone earlier, we were talking about cancellation graphics, right? Because so many things are being canceled. Why don't you offer cancellation graphics? And a lot of people are afraid of being exploitative in their marketing, and again, therefore holding back. You have to go with your gut, because, as I said before, everyone's perspective is different. I have no formula for what anyone and everyone should be doing right now. I think we all have to connect with what is happening in our market geographically, industry-wise, and then make the best decision about what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. Active, not waiting for people to tell you what they need or what they want, or assuming that they don't want to hear from you because things are kind of crazy right now. Actually, what I've been saying with almost everyone I talked to today and yesterday, it's like, crazy times, huh? What are we going to do? Let's figure it out, right? These are very crazy times, and we don't know, how long it will last. So be proactive and creative. And that means thinking about what would be helpful to the people in your orbit. So be helpful, be flexible, be proactive, be creative, and finally, be the voice of reason. I think with this propensity for fear and panic everywhere, it's contagious, right? Maybe even more contagious than a virus. Hold on, I'm muting all again. The fear is definitely contagious. And so my goal is to be the voice of reason. That means I need to be calm and model that. And I think we all need to do that in our own worlds. So to the extent that that is possible, breathe, exhale deeply, let it fill your belly, as they say. It's really helpful, I find.